YouTube, welcome back to another 5-minute fitness tip. And today we're going to be talking about progressive overload, how to know that you're getting stronger in the gym, how to know that the logbook is going in the right direction, and how I do it and how I explain it to clients. It's a big topic of conversation, this. So I'm going to tell you exactly how to do it. So when you go back into the gym, you know what to do. So there are many forms of progressive overload. Number one is progressive stimulus. You can be doing the same weight and the same reps for a few weeks if you're stimulating that muscle better. You're getting a better mind to muscle connection, your technique is better, your form, all of that execution is just getting better, therefore you're progressively stimulating that muscle better each week. Do you want to stay on the same weight and reps all the time? No. You do need to adapt and push in either weight or reps, which will be my next thing. So you can progressively stimulate your muscles better with the same reps and the same weight, but you don't want to be there for too long just by better technique and better form. Then there's a progressive overload in weight. So let's say one week you're doing 100 kilos for 10 reps, the next week you're doing 105 kilos for 10 reps, then 110 kilos for 10 reps, then 115 kilos for 10 reps, and so on. You can see the gist there. So you're going up in weight with good technique, therefore you are forcing an adaptation through heavier loading. Then there's reps. So one week you could do 8 reps at 100 kilos, then 9 reps at 100 kilos, then 10 reps at 100 kilos, and so on. You can see how you are increasing your reps each week or whatever you're doing, and the weight is staying maybe the same, but you're still getting an extra rep. It's progressive form through reps. Now, how can we bring that all together? So let's say you've got 8 to 12 rep range in your training program for an exercise. Let's say a squat. It's really easy. You're doing 8 to 12, 3 times 8 to 12, and you do 100 kilos for 9 reps. We want to fail within that 8 to 12 rep range. You don't want to make it easy. You want to make sure that you cannot do an extra rep and fail in that rep range. And yeah, let's just say 100 kilos and we failed at 9 reps. Perfect. Our first set, we've done 9 reps at 100 kilos and we couldn't do any more. Then the second set, we do stay on 100 kilos, but then we managed to get 10 reps. Brilliant. Perfect. And then the third set, let's say you just got 10 reps again for 100 kilos. Now, the second week, you want to try and hit that top rep range. So obviously on the first set, you got 9 reps. Then, you've come in the second week, you've gone in, you've done your warm up, right, you've done 100 kilos, the same as last week, but then you've got 12 reps. And you're like, brilliant, I failed at 12 reps, which is the 8 to 12 rep range I was supposed to do. Then what should you do once you've hit those 12 reps, the top end range of the rep that, let's say I've given you? Well, now it's time to up the weight. So we go from 100 kilos, it could be 102.5, it could be 105, it could be 107.5. For argument's sake, we just go to 105 for our second set. And let's say we get 9 reps, we failed at 9, brilliant. Now we've gone up in weight, we've gone down in reps a bit, but that's fine because we are progressively overloading. And then the third set, let's say it was 8 reps at 105. So now you get to your third week. So you're like, right, well, I started 100 kilos 2 weeks ago, and now I'm doing 105, and I got 9 reps, I think I said, last week. So I'm going to do 105 kilos again, and then we get 11 reps. Brilliant. We've progressively overloaded in reps again. And then let's just say we've carried on the next 3 sets, and then the following week, the fourth week, we're going to go 110 kilos because we failed in that rep range and we're feeling strong that day. And you go for 110 kilos for 8 reps. Brilliant. You're still in the rep range. You've gone up in weight. You're progressively overloading. You're overloading the muscle with heavier weight and you are getting stronger. And it is that simple, guys. Okay, you do not want to do this. 100 kilos at 12 reps, 100 kilos at 12 reps, 100 kilos at 12 reps, 100 kilos at 12, and so on with exactly the same weight. You need to force an adaptation to your body through progressive reps or weight or progressive stimulus with the muscle, which we can kind of stay at the same weight and reps if you are just getting better at your technique, but we don't want to be there for too long. So make sure you are always pushing reps or weight. When you hit your top rep range at 12, that's a sign for you to then now go up in weight. Your rep range could be 6 to 8. Let's do 100 kilos at 8 reps. Perfect, you've done 100 kilos now. You don't need to do 100 kilos again. We're going to go to 110, okay? So make sure you are pushing reps, pushing weight, one or the other. Even if it's half a rep, even if it's 1 rep, that's still progressive overload. I'm in that phase right now. I'm towards the end of my program. I'm only ever getting half a rep or an extra rep. I'm still getting stronger, but you need to be pushing one of those 2 variables after obviously your technique and form is good. So I hope that has given you some direction that you need to start logging your lifts, tracking what you're doing with your weight, with your reps, with your sets, and then make sure you are pushing most weeks to get stronger. Do not stay at the same number all the time. That is not good. Okay. And if you've got any questions on this, please put them in the comments. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.